So hello and welcome. We are the Rocket Mortgage team, and we are so excited to share with you the Rocket experience. So let's meet the team that made the campaign possible.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alexia. I'm from Oscoda, Michigan, and I am a senior communication major at Michigan State University.
And I am Nick Clark. I'm an organizational communication major. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm a junior at Michigan State.
How's it going? I'm Kylo Robinson. I'm a graduating senior from Detroit, Michigan, and I'm majoring in media and information.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Patton, a senior in advertising management from Detroit, Michigan.
And I'm Christina Crane. I'm a senior in applied engineering sciences, and I'm from Troy, Michigan. So now let's learn a little bit about Rocket Mortgage for those of you who might not know. So Rocket is obsessed with always finding a better way. They are a $15 billion company based in Detroit, Michigan. They are online based and can give quotes on refinancing your home. They are a cutting edge and technology driven company that is always striving to be better. And with that, we want to hand out a few thank yous to everyone. So of course, we want to say thank you to Alyssa and Leanne, our Rocket Mortgage sponsors, for tasking us with this campaign and for being so helpful at answering all of our questions. We are very excited to show you guys this campaign. We also want to give a shout out to David, Jay, and Chris for all of their help throughout this. So thank you everyone for trusting us to create and present an effective campaign. Now we'll get on to what Rocket asked of us. So our problem statement. So this is the problem statement that they tasked us with. So basically Rocket Mortgage wanted to increase their hiring from 100 to 500 mortgage bankers per month. And they wanted about half or 250 of those bankers to be in college, graduating seniors, that sort of thing. So we were trying to figure out a way to create a series of virtual events to attract college students in to know and appreciate and be interested in the Rocket Mortgage company and brand. We also wanted to create a pipeline for student outreach with an email list and to get students interested and ready to apply and interview. So next up, we have John with our situation analysis.
Thank you, Christina. Our situation analysis will be a summary of the target research that we have compiled to help establish the most effective campaign for Rocket Mortgage. The first aspect of our research is our survey. Our primary takeaways are the testimonials of about 50 university students regarding their positive or negative experiences at career fair events. From these testimonials, we were then able to deduce that students are seeking an experience that portrays value in addition to the extent of their opportunities within a company. To further reinforce our understanding of the students' needs, we found that students pay the most attention to the personality and presence of the brand representative in a career fair setting, rather than an in-depth content description of the job. We also observed that there's a strong opportunity for overall positive brand awareness. The majority of our respondents claim to have little familiarity with Rocket Mortgage, a brand specifically hoping to increase student hires. Next, Alexia will explain how we plan to accomplish the goals of this campaign.
Thank you, John. I would love to present to you all what we call the Rocket Experience. For our first virtual event, we have created one meta event for colleges across the nation. It is tentatively planned for October 21st over Zoom to avoid conflicts with the holidays, but also around career fairs that take place in the beginning of the semester. We'll have a few keynote speakers, Jay Farner, the CEO, Casey Herbis, the CMO, to draw attention of the students with C-level executives giving their advice and explaining their experience. Students will also get to hear from mortgage bankers that will highlight their experience with Rocket, and also a recruiter to give interview tips and tricks. This will give quite a few contact points within the company. Through the Rocket Experience Part 1, we plan on having 5 to 6 giveaways via Zoom polls, asking questions about Rocket Mortgage throughout the event, where the winners will receive a Visa gift card via email after the event. This is how we plan to have engagement and keep people to the end, besides our awesome speakers that we have planned. Part 2 of Rocket Experience is a campus-specific virtual event. This is planned tentatively for the week after event 1, so that students will still have Rocket Mortgage fresh in their minds while still avoiding those holidays. This event is meant to create a smaller, more comfortable virtual culture for students to ask questions of the recruiter and mortgage banker. Attending this event will also guarantee them an interview for the mortgage banker position and give them a competitive edge over all of the other candidates. Because Rocket loves working with local businesses, we wanted every attendee to receive a $5 coffee voucher to a local coffee shop in their campus area as a thank you for attending the event. After the event, Rocket Mortgage will have an outstanding number of interviews scheduled for the mortgage banker role to hit that main goal of increasing graduate hires. So that wraps up kind of our vision of the Rocket Experience event, and I would like to have Nick further explain some of our key media strategies.
Thank you very much, Alexia. As we know, media now and the internet and the way it is now, it is probably the best way to disseminate a message across many different platforms. So we're gonna dive in and we'll show you first our biggest marketing play for this, for the Rocket Experience. So we plan to use geofencing. So geofencing is a virtual perimeter around an area that a business or a company can place. So for example, if you know East Lansing, right on Grand River near, I'd say like Starbucks, you can put it around like that whole block. And so when you enter that area, your phone will signal its cell tower, which will let Rocket Mortgage know that you're in that area. And then once you leave, your phone will have targeted ads tailored to Rocket Mortgage and the Rocket Experience 30 to 60 days afterward. And this will allow Rocket Mortgage to spread their message without even showing to the students that they're sharing their message, and it will put more thought of Rocket Mortgage in that student's pocket. So, and then another fun thing that we're going to play off that is the Snapchat filters. Everyone loves Snapchat filters. We receive them every day. I get them every day. I'm sure many of you guys do as well. And so the geofencing will go hand in hand with that. And so when you're in that geofenced area, you'll go on Snapchat, you'll slide to your Snapchat filters, you see, oh, Rocket Mortgage one, boom, put it on, and the event comes up. It lets the students know that there's a university event coming by, the date of it. So that'll be an awesome way. And then now I'm going to pass it over to Christina again, who's going to be talking about our social media.
Thank you, Nick. So social media is so incredibly important to utilize to get our students interested in the campaign and to get them to actually see what's going on. So we plan for a few different social medias. One is Instagram and Facebook, which there are a few examples on this slide of what that'll kind of look like on the Instagram feed. And these will be targeted ads into students and to universities around so that everyone can see them and everyone will just keep seeing Rocket and look into it, see what's going on. So we also plan to use Snapchat as in the previous slide, and we also would like to be using Handshake, which is on the next slide. So Handshake is a very important tool for recruiters to use. We hope that every single student will receive a personalized message from a recruiter stating specifically, you know, we want you for your major and your major is the reason we are reaching out to you. We hope that this will get students to really feel wanted and seen by Rocket Mortgage, and hopefully that will convince them to come to the Rocket Mortgage experience. Another thing that Handshake does is it allows you to RSVP to the event, which will kind of help to see how many people are interested, how many people are coming, and it will definitely be a good tool to see if your messages are working or not. Another tool we're going to use are these emails to advisors of our preferred colleges. So what we hope to do is to send out this email to all of the advisors and ask the advisors to email them out to the students. We think students are a little more likely to open up an email from an advisor and to make it feel a little more legit if it's from an advisor. And we hope that this will be a great way to get students interested and wanting to join the Rocket Mortgage team. And some of these preferred colleges include psychology, communications, kin, sociology, just to name a few of the colleges that we really think that those students will have the specific skill set and knowledge in order to be great mortgage bankers. So now I'll hand it back to Nick to talk about our video treatment.
Thank you, Christina. Again, going back to media, video consumption is the most consumed media across all internet platforms. And we feel that Rocket Mortgage has done a great job this year as they won the #1 and #2 best Super Bowl commercials. So we thought they could carry on that torch and bring it into a mascot commercial, which would help disseminate the message of the Rocket Experience in a humorous and exciting way. So their mascot commercial is it's going to be very entertaining. So what we're going to be using is mascots of the colleges, and this will create an identity between Rocket Mortgage and the consumer and their audience and their prospecting employees. So it's going to open. I'll give you a little preface. Sparty's going to be texting. You're going to hear some text noises, and he's going to be texting Sparky, the Sun Devil, and hey, are you guys coming to the Rocket Experience? And they'll be like, yes, I'll see you there. And then Sparty's going to walk down the hall, and he's going to see Brutus, the Ohio State mascot, one of his most feared and hated rivals. And there's going to be a standoff music, cowboy music. It's going to pause for a sec. And then Brutus is actually just going to hand him a pencil, and that'll be a nice little humorous touch. And then later, actually, when they walk in, Sparty's going to get hit in the head by Rufus, the Bobcat. And Jay Farner is going to stand up, put his hand on the mascots, and extinguish the problem right from there. And then he'll carry on and bring it into, explain this is the Rocket Experience. And there'll be a closing message, the Rocket Mortgage ding, and information regarding when the experience is taking place Thursday, October 21st. So now I'm going to hand it over to Khalil, and he's going to explain a little more about tangible marketing features.
Appreciate that, Nick. So here we have featured our different posters that will broadcast our coffee shop event. So these posters will be broadcast around campus, also in the local coffee shops. So people and students can just walk around and casually see this event. And each poster will feature a QR code where you can usually just take your phone out and use your phone camera and hover it over the QR code, and it will send you a direct link to the Zoom event for our coffee shop. So this is definitely attention grabbing and informative for promoting the free coffee.
Sorry, everyone. It feels like we missed a slide.
Yeah, so for
Khalil, you want to discuss budgeting? Thank you.
It's for our budget analysis, and we definitely want to cover off for at least for the video treatment, which was roughly around $30,000, and we wanted to work with Rocket Mortgage team and their marketing team on figuring out social media ads such as Instagram and Facebook ads, and those numbers are predetermined just based on how the marketing team wants to strategize with that. And we also have geo filters that range around $5 for 8 hour span, which will definitely differ over time. And we also know that Rocket Mortgage used to work with mascots in the past, and those numbers are also predetermined to where will best work out for the marketing team. And we also have our gift cards. Our gift cards for the 2-day events roughly average around $2,700, which will make it a $32,700 total. And that's not including the Instagram or the social media ads, as well as the hiring of the mascots.
Thank you, Khalil. You took great courage doing that without the slide in front of you. Thank you. So John's going to wrap it up for us right now, and then we'll go into questions afterward.
Thank you, Nick. We would just like to reiterate some of the goals that were used to develop the strategy behind our informed campaign. In addition to the outcomes that we hope to achieve for Rocket, our primary focus, again, throughout the campaign was increasing those mortgage banker hires through college graduates. And to all of you at Rocket Mortgage, thank you for your time this evening. I believe that I speak on behalf of the entire team when I say that we were thrilled to be able to put together a campaign for a brand that specifically hopes to give amazing opportunities to students like us. If you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer them now for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I had a chance to look at the deck, and you guys just knocked it out of the park. You did a fantastic job. You pulled together so many elements that we had talked about in our conversations as you guys were going through the process. So I really appreciate all the thought and attention that you put into this. A couple of questions for you as we think about this. And Alyssa, I'd also love to hear any questions you have in perspective as well. But TikTok versus Snapchat. We used to have a Snapchat actual channel itself. I know you're just suggesting a filter here, but I mean, we're actually thinking about and starting to do a lot of strategy work around standing up a TikTok channel. Any thoughts around that? Plus, minus, don't do it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I can go ahead and just start. I think personally for us, why we decided to go Snapchat filter was just because of the geofencing that we had learned about. And I think that was just key part of, you know, the whole Snapchat idea is that when these students are walking to these popular areas, they'll get that ding and get those filters onto their Snapchat. And plus, I feel like as an older base, that Snapchat has kind of been more loyal and prevalent over TikTok. TikTok's newer. And yeah, it is exciting. And I mean, I'm a big TikTok fan too, but you have to also work with the algorithm and figuring out how you're going to get that content into those students' hands. So I think TikTok's more of an algorithm thing. Snapchat is more of, we can utilize the geofence.
And when a follow-up question to the geofencing, and I'm not sure who's best to talk about this, but when you think about the geofencing, is that more, the way I've done this in the past at a previous employer is we execute on a campus digital advertising campaign that it's geofenced. So we have everybody's IP address essentially through a third-party server. And once you hit within, let's say, a mile of the MSU campus, you're activated, right? Maybe you're on Forbes, maybe you're on Wired, whatever the media partners are. So you're served up in a Rocket ad, let's say. And then if you click on it, then you get reserved, let's say, when you're back in your dorm. So when I think about geofencing, that's how I look at it. Is that a component of what you're suggesting as well? Or I'm just curious about when you think about geofencing from just even a broader perspective.
Yeah, so I'll take this one. So what you're saying about a component of it, I feel that just using the geofence will be an extremely useful way to get the message of the Rocket experience in the students' hands if they don't see it anywhere else. Because we have tons of students, and as the sun's coming out and as the sun is out in the fall, students will be out and about right around these popular areas and on campus and like on and off and around. And we think that having that geofence being in your back pocket and having it constantly work for you while you guys don't have to can be an awesome way to keep that Rocket experience popping up on people's phones, promoting Rocket Mortgage, sending those ads and stuff. Is that in-depth enough answer?
Yeah, no, that's very helpful, very helpful. And then another question I had for you in terms of your, how did you go on slide number 9, when you think about the kind of the brand sentiment study that you did, or that little bit of research, tell me a little bit about how that was executed, the Likert scale, how many students, okay, sample size, I see 51, but tell me a little bit more about your thought process there. I just want to make sure I was tracking.
Nick, could you pull up slide 9? Do you still have control of that? Thank you. Yes. Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, that was in our survey. We conducted a survey to about 51 students were the total responses that we had in this survey. And one question we wanted to get just an overall understanding of the familiarity with Rocket Mortgage from a student's perspective, because Rocket Mortgage does so many promotions through universities and things like that. So we wanted to we thought it'd be impactful to put this in our presentation as like, we just want to increase familiarity that this is a brand catered to the needs of students and specifically seeks to increase the opportunities that students can receive.
Yep. So just a little ticker for something going forward as you guys, start your careers is net promoter scores. I'm sure you've heard NPS scores before as well, right? Like another follow-up that I might have suggested in this is a follow-up to 9 is like, okay, let's think about it from an NPS point of view is, would you suggest, would you recommend, knowing what you know about the brand sentiment, another question saying, would you recommend friends or family to work at Rocket Mortgage, right? Because then you also get a sentiment around the NPS score, which is, it's actually been around for several years, but it seems like it's kind of in pockets in marketing overall, and certainly in the talent brand space, it's starting to gain more momentum. So I think that would be kind of just another interesting point of view, because your net promoter score then actually tells you how many detractors you have and how many attractors that help build your brand organically, throughout. So I just think you guys did an awesome job on this. But Alyssa, I'd like to turn it over to you and see if you have questions for the gang.
Yeah, so I think very similar to Leanne, where I'm just overall impressed. I think it's very clear that you guys took what we said and implemented it. I see the horseshoe on every PowerPoint slide. I see you guys bringing in the mascots, which you guys are well familiar with, that we've done throughout our Rocket Mortgage branding. So I think just like the attention to detail, which might seem obvious, but can very also obviously be missed at times, just like very, very much so high praise there. I think obviously Leanne and I come from two different backgrounds, right? That was one of the things that I prepared you guys with. Like Leanne wants to know the marketing stuff. I want to know the HR stuff. And so you guys putting in there like a guarantee of an interview, a guarantee of that one-on-one, that was very impressive for me, because that was one of my big questions, right? Like, all right, they came to this event, then what? How do we like make sure? So I think you met it on both. Yes, this is a marketing project, but with an HR takeaway, with a recruiting takeaway. And I do think that you guys really met that. I think building off Leanne's point, be a little bit more interested in those follow-up questions too, of like, all right, familiarity with Rocket Mortgage brand. That's not necessarily talent focused, right? So familiarity with positions with Rocket Mortgage or job opportunities. So I think just digging a little bit deeper. This is a classroom project though. I think you guys nailed it on the head, but just again, as you do start into those careers, really start to think about those questions and the intent behind the question and what that result is that you're looking for. But no, fantastic job, guys, overall.
And just one final thing, team, is just to tee up, and I won't give it I can't get into too many details, but we have through the organization, we are committing a certain dollar investment, and you may be seeing a lot more of Rocket Mortgage in and around the Career Center on campus. So I am thrilled, because a lot of what you have here we're actually literally having a brainstorming session on Monday about what this space is going to look like, what we can do. And you've just given me a ton of inspiration as well.